We've got a lot to discuss over this next hour, and actually the next 3 hours. A focus of it will be education, but generally county matters hapa in Kisii. And I'm very, very happy to welcome, of course, Erick Miyienda. He is the County Minister for Education, hapa Kisii County, and of course vocational training as well. Wakire, Erick.
Wakire, yeah.
It's so good to have you on set this morning. We have a lot to discuss, but before we get into anything, Janet has a quote for you. She's going to share a quote, the quote of the day. Tell us if it says anything to you, what it speaks to you, yes, how you interpret it.
All right, the quote today was said, it's been said many times, but this one is credited to Phumzile Mlambo back in 2021. Phumzile Mlambo is a South African politician and former UN official. And she said, if you are not at the table, you're probably on the menu. If you're not at the table, you're probably on the menu. Some have even tweaked it to say, if youth are not on the table, they're probably on the menu. Yes, so the question to you is whether you think in terms of county development matters, are citizens on the table or on the menu?
Very well. Good morning.
Good morning.
I will say that as it has been said, if you are not on the table, then you are in the menu. But I believe that we have tried to involve everybody in our decisions through public participation. And I believe none of the Kisii citizens is in the menu. We are all on the table.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about inclusivity and getting people on the table. I think public participation is a really good place to start. But let me just start with education in Kisii. Explain to me education before devolution, education after devolution, specific to Kisii. What gains have been made since devolution began?
Thank you. I will first say that in the county government, we have ECD that has been devolved,
yes,
and vocational training. Those two sectors have been fully devolved to the county government. And I will say that it was a good thing for it to be devolved because now we have improved infrastructure in the ECD sector. We also have improved infrastructure and training in vocational training centers that are under county governments. Yeah.
I was actually going to allude to a question that Mariam has asked over the last few days, because we have been in Homa Bay, we'll go to Kisumu, but which is, you know, talking about the resources that the national government is able to give, but also their own revenue, right? How you're able to balance that resource, because as we've heard over and over again, I think the key thing we've heard is it's never enough. The resources are not enough, whether it's to expand health services and access to health facilities, whether it's to expand education. So maybe speak to number one, is it enough? But number two, if it's not, how then is Kisii County able to generate their own?
I want to say that resources that are given from the National Treasury are not enough to attend to all the sectors that were devolved to county governments. But that notwithstanding, as a county government, we are also tightening our belts to ensure that our own source revenue is improving, and it has been improving over the years. We reported around 1.5 billion in revenue in the last financial year, inclusive of KTRH, which is our level 6 hospital, which collects around 1.1 billion or excess of that per financial year. And this has supplemented what we are given from national government or the National Treasury. And I also want to say that we have reduced wastage to ensure that we put these resources in issues that matter and that impact positively to the public. Yeah.
How much did you say, sorry, in total? The revenue?
The revenue, we're doing around 1.5 billion.
1.5,
yeah,
yes.
Inclusive of what we get from
Kisii Teaching and
Yes,
Referral Hospital.
yeah.
That's quite a big number, and I'm glad that own source revenue is, in the billions for so many counties. What does it look like now vis-a-vis your wage bill? Because that's something we've been trying to understand as well. I know counties struggle with the wage bill.
I'll speak into the wage bill. That our wage bill was extremely high at around 68%.
Wow. Okay.
But it has now reduced to around 48%, and I will speak to why that is the fact. We have been able to deal with the issue of ghost workers. His Excellency the Governor, as he came in, and I believe all of us were in social media and mainstream media, you saw that we did what we call staff audits to see the loopholes that were there in terms of staffing. We had to clean the payroll, and there are a number of staff that have exited service through legal channels because of fake certificates. It is in the public domain, and therefore the numbers have come down, and the revenue has increased, and therefore the wage bill has been able to balance at around 48%.
Okay. Still quite above the recommended standard of 35%. Now that the payroll is clean, how do you expect to now, get to that legal threshold of 35%?
We are building Rome slowly, and we'll get there.
You're confident? Straight, end of story, we're building, we'll get there.
We need to know how we're building. What's the plan for how we're building?
We are improving in revenue collection, such that when we look at the staff we have vis-a-vis the revenue we are collecting, we are balancing, and therefore we'll be at the recommended percentage. But you can agree with me, you can give us a tick for reducing it from 68, 100%. Which was alarming, and now it is balancing at 48%.
Yeah, that's quite a big move.
What would you say is, and maybe you've alluded to it, but the biggest impact? Because with this Devolution conference, there's been a lot of reflection on the biggest impact or milestones for any, governor or leader in the county, and maybe the biggest place where you feel as leadership you've fallen short. But let's speak to the biggest impact. If there's something that Kisii residents today, if we ask the ones here, if we ask the ones out there, they can say, this is where the biggest impact has been on our lives. What would you say that is?
I will first say that we are doing well in a number of, we may not be doing 100%, but we are doing well in a number of our devolved mandates that we have been given, starting from education, all the way to health, agriculture, talk of trade, and a number of the sectors, including roads. We are doing well. I will say, for instance, that when we came in, when His Excellency the Governor Simba came into power, we were not dispersing bursaries as a county. Kisii County dispersed bursaries to needy students for a few years in the first and second term of the former governor, and then it disappeared. But slowly we started getting the bursaries back. And I can tell you that if you see the applications we get when we are dispersing the bursary, you will really see that there is need for support in education. As much as the national government is very strict that as a county government, we are not supposed to support national government institutions. We dispersed bursary the other day for the financial year 24-25 to a tune of 245 million. And over 65,000 secondary school students benefited with around 180 million from that bursary. We also had some from vocational training centers, around 1,800. And we also supported driving, because we realized that most entities, when they employ, they will ask you for a driving license. So when these young men finish from university and they want to be employed somewhere, they will be asked whether they have a driving license. So we also supported students who wanted to, train in driving to a tune of around 25 million. And the training is ongoing. And therefore, those are some of the milestones we are making as a county. And of course, we have said that we have a mandate in ECD, and we are doing a number of things in that sector, starting from infrastructural improvement, building of ECD classes, but we are moving out of that. And in this financial year, 25-26, we are doing model ECD centers in all 45 wards. But as it were, we may not, do very many at once, but we are starting to have one model per ward. We have 45 wards. One will be costing around in excess of 3 million to do one center. And as we move along now, we are going to move away from having ECD classes to ECD centers that are all inclusive, with playground, with sleeping area and all that, which Governor spoke to in his campaign. We are going to achieve that, and we have a budget for that, I can confirm.
All right.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit about the education sector, and specifically ECD, the foundation, right? And then, because it's sort of the starting and then the finishing point, right? Vocational and ECD.
Yeah.
In the middle, the national government can take care of it. But I want to get into agriculture a little bit. Kisii, yes, very agricultural county, biggest economic activity here. But as with the concern with the rest of the country as well around matters agriculture, is we don't have value addition as far as our agricultural produce is concerned. Can have the best Kisii, avocados, bananas, everything, but if there's no value addition, then as an economic activity, it doesn't really benefit. Can you speak to what's being done for value addition in the agricultural sector?
I want to say that in Kisii County, we have an avocado factory here at ATC. We also have a banana factory here at ATC. And the avocado you've talked about is now brought here to ATC for, and the prices have now been improved such that the farmers are getting it right. But that aside, when His Excellency the Governor came in.
Oh, sorry, just before you continue, what does the factory process the avocado and bananas into? Or it's packaging?
No, they process. They
Okay,
process.
okay.
Actually, they do even crepes from here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they process. They do oil here.
Avocado oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, but continue, you were saying?
I was also saying that we have distributed so many hash avocado seedlings to residents of Kisii, which were distributed from our ATC center here. And therefore, I would say that we are not comfortable until our people of Kisii have seen the impact that we've created as a government in terms of adding value to their agricultural products.
I'm an avocado lover, so that's why I might stick in that line of questioning for a while. But yeah, specifically, Hass avocado is the world's, considered the best avocado. For export as well, it's the one that's very much in demand. I don't think it's native to Kisii, but it means that you are working towards growing it, right? So in the next maybe few years, we should be seeing Hass avocado exports.
But there are a number of Kisii residents with the Hass avocado, because when Governor Simba was campaigning, he was actually giving those seedlings to his supporters. Yeah. And now they are selling.
They're selling.
Yeah.
When you talk about value add and the gap, it's just in terms of what it generates for people. That's where your concern comes in.
Yes.
Okay. No, I was just trying to pull on that thread a bit in terms of why that doesn't seem to be a point. I don't know what the factors are in terms of the value add.
I'm thinking through, because when you sell produce when it's raw, yes, you'll get something, but not much, right? But of course, if there's value addition, that does keep the ecosystem, the economy flowing, and of course, it's much better for everyone involved. And I think at international markets, sometimes we don't have control of the pricing. You're hoping that whoever the middleman gets a good price, but still you've already been, sort of robbed. But I do like that we have, processing for the bananas and the avocados. I'm also thinking through the chain. As the food, the agricultural value chain, and I know roads are the next other big issue. Connectivity for all farmers to the markets and to sell their produce. Kisii is it's large. It's not the largest county, but it's big. And I know roads are also quite a big issue for a lot of farmers there. Can you speak to maybe how many kilometers of road have been added, if you know, or what's being done to ensure that farm produce gets it there on time, to the markets on time before going bad, but also just that people have, you know, good roads, even when you're not carrying avocado.
Yeah, because it's an access factor.
Thank you. I'll talk into the issue of roads from 2022 to date, that we've done 400 kilometers, and we are still doing so many other roads. But as you can agree with me, Kisii is an area where it rains 10 months a year.
Yes.
And therefore, you'll do a road today, the next day somebody will say it was not done. So it's something that we keep on doing. But it is not...
Can I push back on that?
Yes.
If you do the road properly, I think in 10 months it'll still be standing.
I just said that it rains 10 months
It does.
a year, and therefore you don't expect to do a road and it lasts 3 years. That's what I meant. It may not last 3 years. It will have...
But it's possible. Is it just...
It speaks to the quality of the road, right?
Yes.
Because if you, for example, if you tarmac a road, that's a lifelong
No, we're not
commitment.
tarmacking as a county.
Yes.
We're not tarmacking. We're doing Moram roads. Yeah, tarmacking is
there a
now
way
for the national government.
national.
Yeah.
But I'm
as
thinking,
we do again village roads only. And I want to say something on roads such that even the public is aware. There are roads that the county does, and there are roads that the county cannot do. And the confusion comes where a road that is for national government is not passable. And of course, because there is belief that roads are devolved, and therefore people will say, Kisii County, they are not doing anything because road X is not passable.
Right.
But the fact is, we do village roads as county governments.
I understand that. And there are those roads that are for Kenha and Kura, and there's roads that are county roads. However, I still think from a sustainability perspective, there has to be a way, even with the Maram road. And then, of course, nothing does stop the county from tarmacking a road, right? It would be more expensive, for sure.
I think we started where we said that the resources coming.
Okay, so it's a resource gap. So if the resources were there...
And you know the county is also vast. If you do a tarmac road at 10 million, for example, 20 million, you'll be disadvantaging others who will be needing that, well-murammed road to take their products to the market.
True.
And therefore, the small resources you have to, balance across the county.
Out. Yeah. Is there some, and in between, maybe some research into something that lasts longer than Maram, but isn't as expensive as tarmac, maybe to just sort of bridge the gap?
I was going to the second point on roads, that doing roads in Kisii is not going to be a big issue going forward. The county is purchasing tractors, all the tractors that you'll think of that are involved in, road making, and they are going to be per sub-county. They are going to have tractors that are maintaining these roads, doing the roads per county. And this is happening in this financial year as a way, again, of reducing the costs of doing these roads, reducing the, workmanship that you talked about, such that we are sure of what we are doing. So each ward is going to have fuel for maintaining and doing the roads of that ward. We're going to have tractors at every constituency, which we call sub-county, and therefore the roads will be maintained at every moment, because we'll be having lorries and all that. We'll have money in the budget for Maram and all that, and therefore I believe the people of Kisii will be happy going forward.
Is there a timeline for this? It's ongoing, it's begun, or there's a rollout?
No, it is when we're implementing this budget.
Okay.
Which will be implemented
this financial year.
This financial year. It has been budgeted for.
Okay. Yeah, but to your point, it's what is that middle ground? And I know later we'll also hear from the residents on what has that hampered. Because when you think of roads, you also think of delivery, if it's access for maternal, if it's access to farmers.
Yes.
So it's probably also been a bit of a hindrance, but we'll hear that from the residents. I know it's coming up to a break. I really want to also go into soapstone carving as a key element in Kisii and just talk through how that continues to generate income, create job opportunities, and then later on, it's also to speak to how much more can Kisii be marketed. As mentioned, we started this at Homo Bay County about 2 days ago, and Mariam was like, there's a question, which is, sell Kisii to me. Sell it to the visitors who haven't yet come.
Yeah.
So you have some time to think about that as we go into the break, right?
Yeah, right.
Is if you had just a minute to sell Kisii to people outside of Kisii, to make them come here. Yeah. What would you sell? But yes, we are on site with Erick Miyienda, County Minister for Education and Vocational Training, Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time. Janet Bogwa, Mariam Bishar. Erick Latif is with us in spirit, Bado ako Homo Bay, but it's coming up to 7:30. We'll be back after this.
What's that?
Erick, tukuje video lini? Unatutumia lini? You'll see. Paul Miner says Kisii has one of the best sugarcane, some of the best sugarcane and sweetest. Are there plans to have a sugarcane factory in Kisii? Are there? Are there plans? Or are there plans to evolve the sector? Yeah. Is it even a sector? I've called it a sector, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's just...
It's a budding sector.
It's a budding sector, something that can...
But the kind of sugarcane we do in Kisii, it's not for processing of sugar. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
For juice, maybe? No.
Yeah, for juice, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I didn't know that there was a specific type for...
processing sugar and one for just consumption.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Soapstone carving. Yes. Tell us a little bit. I think it's a unique feature. Talk to us about, for somebody who's watching or listening for the first time, what is soapstone? Why is it unique to Kisii? And what have been some of the ways it's elevated the economy and job opportunities?
Yeah, we'll talk about soapstone in Tabaka. If you had an opportunity of visiting Tabaka, you'll really see what we're talking about. And the fact that there are many people who are working in that soapstone sector in Tabaka, and they are even exporting those carvings out of the country, and it is one of its kind. And I will tell you that we've not seen any other soapstone anywhere that is equivalent of the one that is in Tabaka in Kisii. So it is unique to Kisii, and I will say that we have tried as a county to bring in a number of investors to come and check what is happening there and see whether it is possible that they can do a factory on that soapstone in Kisii. So it is, I think, work in progress that governor is engaging a number of investors to come and see what can be done to even improve the prices of what those farmers are doing there.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a market for the carvings outside the country?
Yes. And they're exporting those carvings.
Okay.
Yeah. They package and export very many of them in Tabaka. Yeah.
Roughly how many people does that industry, is the industry able to uplift? If you're talking at loosely like work opportunities, I'm just trying to think of how much does it benefit Kisii residents? What's kind of like that number of people who are directly able to benefit from soapstone?
I will say that there are many people. I don't want to just be specific on a number, but I have been to that place. Actually, before I came to education, I worked as a county minister in charge of youth, sports, culture, and social services, and therefore I interacted with that sector very much. And I can tell you that it's a sector, when I went there, that has uplifted very many people in that region. Yeah.
I want to go back to the education pin that I had, just held. ECD education is very critical, and you've given us a little bit of an outlook on what's happening within Kisii as far as that is concerned. But then now there's the other end. But let me start actually with the ECD and vocational centers. You've spoken to making them holistic, right? A proper ECD center, yes, as opposed to just a classroom here and there. What was the importance of that? You mentioned that it was part of Governor Arati's campaign. It was very critical that they be very, very wholesome, very inclusive. Why is it important that for ECD, it's not just a classroom where you go say A, B, C, D, and then you go home?
I will tell you that one of the reason why ECD was devolved is that it was meant to be independent, isolated from primary. And therefore, it is not supposed to be an ECD classroom, but it is supposed to be a center Actually, I'm talking to the policy, the ECD policy. It is supposed to have its own board of management. It is supposed to have its own teachers. It is supposed to be managed separate from primary school, such that after they graduate from PP2, then they go to grade 1. And the teachers teaching in ECD are paid by the county government. Therefore, it is a different entity from primary, and therefore, it will not be proper for us to just have a classroom within a primary school and 2 centers of command. And that's why we are now moving to make these ECD centers independent. Number 2, as you have said, it is an important, foundation. You see, those young babies, they need comfort. They need comfort. They don't need to, when we were in nursery school, all of us, of course, if you are in a city, you may not understand. Those of us who are in the village here, the classes were not, cemented before. We were in mud classes. So we cannot live the same way all the time. We must transform classes that are tiled, classes that are lit well, classes that are clean. It will even help these young babies not to fall sick every time because of the dirty environment. An ECD center that has source of water for these young babies. And I want to also tell you that we are starting in this financial year a school feeding program for ECD in Kisii, which I think is also going to motivate these children to come to school, because a number of people in Kisii, I can tell you, and everywhere else, and with the economy we are in now, that all of you understand, may not be affording to get that meal in the morning, lunchtime, and in the evening. And therefore, we have put around 96 million in the budget to roll out school feeding program for ECD, which is again speaking to the policy that we have. Yeah,
and this is also for far to reach areas, because I think ECD, sometimes the people who are left furthest behind also don't have access to this. But for you, it's all the way to the last mile is where you're looking at making sure the services are available.
We're doing it across the county.
Okay.
Across the county. I'll tell you, we have, when Governor came in, the ECD teachers were on contract, all of them, earning 10,000 shillings a month. But through what I spoke to, we were able to confirm them on permanent and pensionable, and therefore improving their pay, which also improves their motivation to handle the young ones. We are also employing around 200 to 300 ECD teachers on permanent and pensionable in this budget, 2025-2026, as a way again of ensuring that these children are getting access. But at least every ECD center that we have has a county-employed ECD teacher. Yeah.
And you're integrating local language as well? Is that something that's also going to be part of it? Or you, I'm Jeffy Kapo, Bado. The integration of local language as well.
Of course, now, we have CBC. Now, CBE, as they have changed it again. The trends that are coming, we don't know what happens tomorrow.
You'll adjust accordingly.
We'll just comply with the system that the government recommends to us, because again, on the syllabus, we are not independent. We are collaborating with the national government in coming up with the curriculum.
You spoke of the meal programs, which is really wonderful for the young ones. Then there's now the other end of those who are going into vocational training. And unfortunately, over the last few years, you've had a lot of stories of comrades having to skip meals because, basically, and I know we'll speak to some of them. I'm just wondering if that's a reality. One, Kisii University looks so vibrant and beautiful, but it would be a shame that, something this lovely, and then someone is going to class on an empty stomach. But also from a vocational training perspective, some of the things that county is putting in place to ensure that through and through, the quality of education is strengthened. Yeah.
Let me talk to vocational training.
Yes.
Where we are equipping the youth of Kisii with technical skills.
Yes. I know that the universities are different.
Ranging from, electricians, plumbers, you talk of mason, you talk of metal fabrication and all that, beauty and all that. We give capitation to our 59 vocational training centers. Capitation per learner. We dispersed 20 million in the last financial year in capitation to our 59 vocational training centers.
Right. How much is that per learner? Do you know?
We were dispersing around 6,500 per student. But I will say why, because we have more that went to those institutions. We also dispersed another 25 million to the same vocational centers. We had a collaboration with KCB Foundation, where KCB Foundation was partnering with the county with the 25 million in support of these vocational training centers. And as a county, we were also giving another 25 million to support. And therefore, that answers the question on whether they go on an empty stomach. Lunch program is part of this money that we are dispersing to these vocational training centers. So they are able, those who are boarding, they're able to get breakfast, they're able to get lunch, they're able to get supper.
Okay.
Unlike in the university where they are not given breakfast, lunch and supper. If they are day scholars, they are getting lunch in those vocational training centers from this money that we have been able to disperse. We also have other partnerships where we are getting support. We have an organization known as SHOFCO that also supports our vocational training centers. It pays 35,000 per learner, in specific vocational training centers that we have had partnerships with them. And therefore, I can tell you that there are resources in those vocational training centers. I can tell you, they are not paying school fees in our vocational training centers as we speak. They are only supposed to be available to be trained because the instructors training in the vocational training centers are paid by the county. And therefore, when we give this money, it is for specific votes.
Right.
Like electricity, lunch and all that,
That's really good to hear. And I'm glad that there's intentionality with strengthening vocational institutions. The world over is kind of leaning back into vocational training and technical training because we need it's a skills-based industry, and we're looking into that. Why the focus? Was it informed by that data that more people are moving into skills-based training as opposed to traditionally what we've thought of as education, right? Or was there just 59 institutions already, and it's like, okay, let's give them resources?
What informed us to be intentional in terms of supporting these vocational training centers? You remember the Gen Z issue. And when you interact with the youth, they say we have nothing that we are doing. And therefore, we are idle because government is not supporting us. I can tell you that even when we were supporting these trainees with the foundation, KCB Foundation and Kisii County, the applications that came in were more than the resources that were available. Therefore, that urge to learn technical skills is what informed us. And we are even going to put in more money for, can I tell you, that there are young people who are finishing degree from university and they are joining vocational training centers to get a technical skill. So it is not, we are changing the narrative that vocational training centers or what they call youth polytechnics are for people who failed in school. I have been to some of these vocational training centers and people tell me, I finished social sciences from university, I was not able to get a job, but now I want to train as a metal fabrication person and then I start my own business. So therefore, you'll agree with me that the world is changing. Technical education with, even with what they call artificial what?
Intelligence. AI, right.
Technical education is going to be the only thing because I'm told there are things that are going to be phased out with the artificial intelligence.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So being able to work with your hands and have a skill that cannot be done
Cannot be replaced
by AI.
by AI.
I think the focus on ECD and vocational training is smart in the long run on both ends, right? Because people have undermined for a long time ECD, and in the end, we know what the benefits are long term, so that is curtailed, and then integrating vocational. And I really hope right now there's an entire rebranding around it. Yes. If not, then what more needs to be done? And I think we'll ask our comrades later on in the Mike Kwa ground. But for now, the pitch question, Mariam. It's
a really simple one. Kisii County is beautiful, agriculturally rich, but if you had someone who has never been here, wants to come and spend 24 hours in Kisii, what would you tell them to do?
Very well. There are many beautiful places they can visit in Kisii, starting from Tabaka, Soapstone. It's a very beautiful place. And I also want to say that Kisii is a peaceful county.
Yes.
We are loving people, and therefore you can't miss where to hang around when you are in Kisii.
I like that. Yeah. Starts with the soapstone.
But there's
and then,
others.
Then do I go get a meal? Do I,
Is there a structure or museum just somewhere to...
We have not had a museum in Kisii so far, but there are plans, again, to have one.
Yeah.
Let me not talk about it now, but in our next show, I will tell you where it is because we are doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear. We're just about to wrap up. I wanted to end on a lighter note. As far as the people of Kisii are concerned, right? Devolution is working for them. But what would you say is that small thing that Devolution has brought? Maybe, because we discuss education and healthcare and devolving functions and all of that. But tiny, tiny things that Devolution has brought to the people of Kisii that might be even comical. It's like, hiya. And we didn't know we were missing out on this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be specific, but there are many things. There are many things that Devolution has brought close to us, and even business-wise, the resources. When we talk of Kisii County getting 9 billion plus, that money is spent in Kisii, and therefore our people are able to get, market, business, and all that.
Yeah, I like that. There's also a big diaspora community. I want to know how you're integrating them into the plans for building Kisii. There's quite a big diaspora community. Remittances are now accounting for a lot of our foreign exchange. So how do you integrate the diaspora into matters Kisii County and to help grow the county as well?
Yeah, there are times we are having engagements with them. There are times we are having engagements. We are having collaborations with them. And His Excellency the Governor has been going to a number of countries to engage them on how we can partner with them and how they can invest in Kisii, in business and any other way they want to invest.
In what ways? Like, assuming, yes, I am a Kenyan living in anywhere else. Let me choose Texas for an example. And I want to invest in Kisii. What are the opportunities available to me?
Opportunities are enormous, madam. There are many. You can't miss where to invest. If you want to invest in real estate, if you want to invest in agriculture, if you want to invest in education, if you want to invest in health, there are so many good private hospitals in Kisii, and they're doing very well.
Kisii has produced many prominent voices, right? How do you see them shaping national conversations? Is it something, obviously you're probably all following closely, but how do you see the people of Kisii being able to shape a national conversation and agenda?
I want to say that as it were, maybe Kisii we are doing so much, but very little is known. I think that's what you ask.
The prominent voices are known.
The prominent voices. How are we using them to say what we are doing in Kisii? Is a conversation that we'll need to have.
I think there's a lot to tap into. I'm thinking of from an arts and culture perspective, there's quite a number of like really big comedians, of course, actors, etc., who are Kisii, but they also do content that is Kisii. They're not just, it's not just the name. Yeah. I think Cyprian Osoro is a great place to start. He's done quite a few plays, in Kisii or in Nairobi as well, kind of just bringing that culture and, of course, the festivals, the music festivals, things like that. So from an arts and music and culture perspective, is there intentional work being done by the county government to sort of get, the culture to grow and to spread it outside the county and outside the country?
Yeah, really, as I said, I have served in the Department of Culture.
Yes.
And we are also intentional. We are going to ensure that we have cultural, maybe cultural week, cultural, something that brings all our cultures together, and then the people out there are able to know what we are doing. But we had a partnership with the Department of Culture in National Government, and we were documenting what we have in Kisii, what we call the digitization of indigenous knowledge. We did that, and in a couple of days, we'll be able to tap a pattern and see what we have, starting from the soapstone, from the indigenous, medicine that we have, the avocado you talked about. So they came and collected even our music, local music we have, that I'm talking of about 1900.
Okay.
Yeah. So all that has been documented in the Department of Culture in National Government. Then when they will be ready, we'll have somewhere, even if you are in the US, you will just place a pattern and you will see Kisii, or what it is made of.
Right. We're almost winding up. Mess Boss on YouTube is saying, what have you done to follow up the ground to know if the educational programs are being implemented? And I know, number one, we're going to cross over to have this conversation. But I think I just wanted to end on the public participation note. We have started it, but there's various counties and, heads of counties that we've spoken to that speak to the unique public participation challenges in their setting. How are you integrating public participation to the point where maybe citizens feel like we're also a part of these decisions that have been made at that level? What are the challenges and how are you guys addressing it with regards to Kisii?
I think when we do public participation, we actually publicize it. We don't do it as a private matter. We put it in the local dailies, and we go to mashinani. We don't do it here in town. Public participation at the ward level, at the sub-county level, then at the county level, even before we do the budget.
Right.
There must be public participation. People must say what they want done. What are their priorities? And therefore, of course, the challenges will be the numbers that you will get in public participation. Very few people will turn up for public participation. But now when you start implementing the programs, is when now they start speaking into issues they wanted done, but they were not present when the budget process was being done. Yeah.
I think there's a good model from Homa Bay County that we learned about, because you're right, I think they had more or less the same problem, and they decided to do village clusters. So almost a nyumba kumi, but for public participation. And each village cluster is now almost your public participation hub. So it talks to the people around the village, and then now it takes it to the public participation at the county assembly level, and so on and so forth. I think it's a good idea, right?
Right.
It's a good idea.
And maybe there's other ideas here.
True.
Yeah.
Because if they're saying in implementation you're not seeing, then what is it that they're hearing? When you're saying we have a call for public participation, maybe it's not being translated as best as it can be. But
True.
I think we're transitioning into that conversation now.
Yeah, we're about to do a mic qua ground. We love to have conversations with you. And of course, this is us fixing the nation together. It's when we say one conversation at a time, like this, right? And we're about to speak to some students from Kisii University, residents of Kisii County, people from the agricultural sector, and many other sectors. The idea is just to figure out what is working, what are the things that Devolution has brought down to Kisii that are doing wonderfully? Where are the pain points? How can we fix them? And of course, we are so happy to be able to have had the CEC Minister for Education and Vocational Training, that is Erick. And of course, we'll still be having him if he's happy to sit with us for the next 2 hours. Tuendelee na baraza, but hashtag is Fixing the Nation and TV.